The High Court rules the first flight to Rwanda deporting people who've arrived here illegally can go ahead next week. Ministers say the scheme will discourage asylum seekers from crossing the Channel, but opponents who challenged the plan in court said their fight will continue.
This isn't in any way a vindication of the Home Secretary's policy. That is still to be tested in the courts in the next few weeks. It is simply a decision related to the flight on Tuesday.
The court granted permission to appeal, and the case will be heard again at the Court of Appeal on Monday, also tonight. Boris Johnson urges ministers to do everything to free the 2 British men sentenced to death by Russia for fighting in Ukraine.
We have a breach of the Capitol!
Last year's Capitol riot in the US. A congressional inquiry hears claims that Donald Trump orchestrated the attack in an attempted coup. 40 years after the end of the Falklands War, we look at the psychological toll on those who fought. And the sprint star Dina Asher-Smith tells us of her plans to compete at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham.
And coming up on the BBC News Channel, England had a decent start, but New Zealand had taken the initiative by the end of day 1 of the second test at Trent Bridge.
Good evening. The government has seen off a legal challenge to stop its first flight deporting asylum seekers to Rwanda planned for next Tuesday. Campaigners and immigration charities went to the High Court today to try to convince a judge that the Home Secretary Priti Patel's policy is unlawful and irrational, as Rwanda is unsafe. But the Home Office argued that there was a significant public interest in the government being able to deport people deemed to have entered the UK illegally. Here's our Home Editor, Mark Easton.